Welcome back, my friends. Jake here. Today's video is going to be a little unusual because one of the largest pro-Russian propagandists on YouTube actually threatened me on Twitter. I'm going to explain to you the story in this video, and the individual in question goes by the name of Gonzalo Lira. I don't know if that's his real name, and on Twitter he has 66,000 followers. This is his YouTube channel, currently at 93,000 subscribers. If you support me and you support Ukraine, do not go to this man's channel. Don't go to his Twitter page, don't message him, don't comment on any of the posts. By interacting with his channel, you're only going to help promote it in the algorithms so that even more people will be sucked in and reading his BS Russian propaganda. And Gonzalo, along with these guys at the Duran, are probably the largest pro-Russian propagandists currently on YouTube, and I felt like it was inevitable that I would get their attention and they would start talking about me. And Gonzalo messaged me on Twitter, and I want to read to you the entire interaction. This is not a screenshot. I'm scrolling through the page. You can see I can highlight the text. I'm just screen recording Twitter so you can see our conversation. And he starts out by saying, roundtable invitation. Hi Jake, I watched some of your videos and you are clearly in the position that Ukraine will eventually win this conflict. I'd like to invite you to discuss your position with a couple other guests who, like you, have military training and a fair bit of knowledge about the current conflict. I think it would be a very worthwhile endeavor to contrast different people's views on the current conflict and listen to them all in a collegial, respectful forum. I look forward to hearing from you, Gonzalo. He messaged me on July 28th. I saw the message and I just ignored him. 4 days later, he messages me again and just replies, and. Once again, I saw it, I just kind of ignored the guy. He then said, if you think you are right and the facts are on your side, you should have no trouble coming on my roundtable this Saturday, laying out the facts. I saw the message, I ignored it, and then 10 days later, he messaged me again just with and question mark. So I decided to, against my better judgment, reply to the guy, and my first is a quote, and listen to them all in a collegial, respectful forum. I thought that was kind of a joke. I then said, sorry, I had no clue who you were. I knew who he was, I just wanted to hurt his ego. So I checked out your Twitter page, and you just appeared to be a cheerleader for Russian imperialism. So on his Twitter page, it's absolute garbage, just the most crazy conspiracy stuff you could imagine, and he happily retweets RT News. This stands for Russia Today. This is directly paid for Kremlin propaganda to spread disinformation throughout the English-speaking world. This is his primary news source. He also frequently attacks the United States and trashes Americans. I'm an American. Why would I appear on his show when he frequently attacks America? So I said, there is no freedom of speech or freedom of press in Russia. All information you gather and pass on is either from the Kremlin or Kremlin approved. I don't understand people who support Russia. I mention this fact to them all the time that you don't have freedom of speech, you don't have freedom of press in Russia. They never really argue with me on this point. If we tried to have a roundtable discussion and we were in Russia, then I would either be arrested or murdered by the FSB for the position that I've taken in support of Ukraine. So if I was a Russian citizen who wanted to call this war a war and I was based in Russia, the FSB would arrest me, torture me, and maybe even murder me. I don't know what country you live in, Gonzalo, but I am guessing you are exercising freedoms that people in Russia do not have, and you are fine with that for some reason. I don't see the benefit of engaging in dialogue with your channel. Cheers. I was happy to leave the conversation at that. I just explained to him honestly why I don't want to appear on his show. He then sent me one of his roundtable videos. It wasn't necessary. He then tells me I am in fact in Kharkiv, Ukraine. about 10 kilometers from the front line, my YouTube roundtables get between 60,000 and 100,000 views. To all my Ukrainian viewers, Ukrainian supporters, did you know that one of the largest Russian propagandists on YouTube is currently based in your country and living in Kharkiv? That's kind of incredible. The example of the show I sent is with nuclear weapons experts discussing the various US-Russia treaties. If you do not think you have the ability to defend your point of view, I understand. So Gonzalo is trying to bait me here. My response: I'm confused why you are trying to present this as a neutral forum for civil debate when your tweets are just red meat for Russian supporters. You really should just move to Russia and operate there if you are paranoid enough to believe that the Zelenskyy regime is trying to murder you. I'm sure Russia would be happy to have you. One of his pinned tweets on his Twitter page is, if I don't post on Twitter at least every 12 hours, then President Zelenskyy has murdered me. That's how delusional this person is. He says, I don't care about sides, I care about the truth. If the truth benefits one side or another, I am indifferent. All I care about is to know the actual facts on the ground, which is why I hate lies and liars. Like I said, if you do not think that you have the facts on your side and therefore are refusing to have any kind of honest debate, I understand. My response to him, of course, is, yeah, that's a trap. Just being honest with you, I checked out the video he sent me. I scrolled forward just to see the points in the video in which he was talking. And in his live streams, it's just constant spamming of these Z swastikas and Russian flags. 99% of his audience is pro-Russian, and I'm smart enough to know at this point, 6 months into the war, there's nothing I can say on his program to change the minds and the opinions of people who are choosing to support Russia in this war. No value will be added to your audience because they are not looking for facts that contradict the narrative that they have already accepted. Biolabs and Nazis and all the other crazy stuff that this guy promotes. And then he responds, sounds like you're projecting. It sounds to me like you don't want to hear any fact that will knock you off your narrative. Kind of childish for him just to use the exact same argument I laid out. You know, it's basically, I know what you are, but what am I? He then says, if you have the facts on your side, I promise you will get a respectful and clear opportunity to state your case in as much detail as you would like. If I fail to live up to this promise, insofar as my moderation is concerned, you can post this Twitter direct message and call me a liar far and wide. So he did give me permission to show you all this conversation. He then says, so are you up for it? Or should I tell my YouTube audience that you simply don't have the courage of your convictions? He's calling me a coward. I then tell him I am watching the video you sent, and at 1 hour and 19 minutes, you state your position that the Russian military is unequivocally winning. This guy went on a tangent completely unrelated to his guests, how the Russian military is achieving all of its objectives and future military leaders will be writing textbooks about the brilliance of this Russian operation, how they have performed so spectacularly. I honestly couldn't even watch it without laughing at this guy. He then says, prove me wrong, show me the facts. Look, here's the threat. Look, one of two things are going to happen, Jake. Either you're on my roundtable defending your position, or I'm making a video of why you're not going to be on my roundtable. Your choice. And this is where you done effed up, Gonzalo, because I would love it if you made a video about me, made a reaction video, a response video. I would love it if your audience could find me on YouTube and get some honest facts about what is happening on the ground in Ukraine, because all you're feeding them is regurgitated Kremlin propaganda. This was my response. I probably shouldn't have done this, but I couldn't help myself. And I tell him, you are a YouTuber and a heavy user of social media. If you can provide me with a single post you made from either February or March in which you believed this special limited military operation would still be going on 6 months later and everything is going according to plan for the Russians, then I can take you serious and I will join your show. And these guys, Gonzalo and the Duran, kudos to them for not deleting their old content in which they claimed that Russia was going to easily win this war in 7 days when these satellite pictures came out about the 40-kilometer-long convoy going from the Belarus border to Kyiv. All of these guys were saying Kyiv was going to fall in 3 days. Zelenskyy was going to flee. The Zelenskyy government was going to collapse. I can go back and watch their old videos of their completely asinine and BS projections and predictions that the war was almost over. And here we are on day, what is the day? We're currently on day 171 of this war. None of these pro-Russian propagandists 5 or 6 months ago made the prediction that this war would still be going on. I then tell him, oh please make a video about me, I would love the free press, and I would, Gonzalo, please, talk about me on your channel to your viewers. He replies, LOL, I guess he's a millennial, so you don't have the courage of your convictions, so you don't have the facts on your sides, so you are knowingly pushing lies. Those are the only inferences that can be drawn from this conversation. I then just honestly reply to him, you are not a moderator acting in good faith. Your incendiary social media posts completely discredit you. He then replies, I am not moderating now. I am interacting with someone who does not have the courage of his convictions. He keeps calling me a coward. Someone who does not have the courage to defend his position. I then reply, why would I engage with a Russian propagandist? You are not a neutral moderator. He then says, you are accusing me of being a Russian propagandist, does not make me such, and I have said repeatedly, I only care about the truth, I don't care about the sides. If the truth is on one side or another, that is not what is of interest to me. I have made this repeatedly clear. Look, I understand you are getting paid money to spread Western lies and uphold the Western narrative. Don't you feel cheap and low for taking their money, for knowingly spreading lies for a few pennies? And he completely exposed himself. I knew that if I just kept poking him, he would eventually reveal his true self and his real attitude towards me. So I said, there you go, you are being the real you now. He then replies, hey, you called me a Russian propagandist, so I can't call you a Western sellout in reply. Thanks for giving away how you were going to treat me if I appeared on your show. My suspicion was that he was going to have probably some of these Duran guys on the broadcast, and it was going to be a 3-on-1 in which they just would have spouted BS and attacked me. So at this point, I just blocked him on Twitter because I got what I wanted from him, and he gave me permission to make this video. So you done messed up, Gonzalo, because this is going on YouTube. Once again, to my followers, to my supporters, do not go to his Twitter page. Do not go to his YouTube page. Don't give him engagement, which the YouTube algorithm will reward with more views and more followers. We're trying to stop this guy. I just want to warn anyone else out there who searches for his name, don't appear on his roundtables, don't appear on his podcasts. He is not a good faith neutral moderator. He is a Russian propagandist. All right, that's all for this video. If you want to support me, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, leave me a positive comment. If we get enough engagement with this video, then the name Gonzalo Lira, this will become the #1 video if anyone happens to search for this guy. I want to warn other people of his true intentions, his real politics, and his motivation being a Russian propagandist. That's all for this video. Until the next one, take care, be safe.